Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on your location. I would like to welcome you all to the EfD webinar series. Today is the 10th of the Natural Capital Collaborative Program, and we are here to listen to one of the members of Natural Capital Collaborative Program, by name Dr. Gemeda Olani Akuma, who is one of our postdoctoral fellow, based in the Max Center, in Uganda. And of course, I'm sure some of the colleagues from Max Center are here to also listen to him. Also, the NatCap network, I'm sure many of them are here to also listen to him. Likewise, the entire EfD network. Just some of the rules regarding this presentation. So Dr. Gemeda will have 45 minutes to present his material. And if you have any burning question, please note it down. There'll be Q&A section where you can interrogate or ask your questions to Gemeda. Of course, you'll be able to utilize the function where you can raise your hand, and then I'll call you to provide your questions to Gemeda or comment to Gemeda to respond. Right, so given these rules, I'll welcome you, Gemeda, to the floor. You have the floor now for your 45 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Okay, do you see my screen now?
Yes.
Thank you. Today, I'm going to present one of my working, actually our working paper that is a work in progress, which is, so the comments are actually welcome. It is, that is going to be modified, that is going to be updated based upon recommendations and also comments from the audience. So it says village networks and climate smart agriculture, pathways to adoption and resilience in rural Ethiopia. This is actually, we are going to work together with Professor Gunnar. I'm actually a postdoctoral fellow, NetCap postdoctoral fellow, based at EfD Makerere University, Uganda. So as the outline for the presentation is actually having some introduction, motivation, conceptual framework, data and empirical strategy, results and discussion, and also conclusion. So a small, actually, the smallholder farmers are vulnerable to climate shocks, and therefore, just smallholder farmers, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, are highly vulnerable to climate change, relying on rain-fed agriculture. That is a motivation. They face actually erratic rainfall, droughts, as well as floods that threaten food security and livelihoods as well, which is actually considered by IPCC, FAO, as well as World Bank. Climate shocks limit farmers' ability to invest in adaptive technologies and productive inputs. So having those effects, just they will limit the farmers' ability to invest in adaptive technologies as well as productive inputs. As a solution, which is actually that is proposed by, especially by FAO, climate smart agriculture is one solution for that kind of obstacle, that kind of actually limit. So it says CSA provides an integrated framework actually to increase productivity, enhance resilience as well, and reduce emissions. So this is what is actually considered by different scholars as well as FAO as main promoter of this one. The key CSA practices include actually like sustainable intensification, conservation agriculture, soil and water management, agroforestry, and climate resilient crops. So this is also what is evidenced by different scholars. These are actually a broad categories of CSA practices. In Ethiopia as well, CSA adoption is crucial for managing climate risks and then enhancing adaptive capacity, which is also a recent study, what is actually considered as one importance of CSA adoption. And in this, the role of village network is actually not considered in that way. This study actually tries to relate what will be the role of village networks in CSA adoption. So CSA actually adoption varies due to differences in household resources, extension access, market linkage, as well as policy environments. This is also a recent phenomena, what is actually evidenced by different scholars like Jat and colleagues, Tanti and also colleagues, and others as well. Then the village level social networks facilitate knowledge sharing and learning by observation, which is also provided by Connolly and other in 2010, and then others also in, like Bander and Razul. So labor coordination and the collective action is also one role of village level social networks, which is also what is provided by different scholars. And another importance of village level social network is risk sharing and trust building. That is also what is evidenced recently. And then, and also one importance of village social network team. The role of village networks in CSA adoption is actually this act as informal institutions. That is a issue. They act actually informal institutions for information dissemination, collective decision making, and also cooperative adaptation. Then this is actually the role of CSA adoption in general, and village networks in CSA adoption in general. In Ethiopia as well, farmers adopt new techniques and access to market opportunities through social ties and indigenous social institutions like EfD, actually, which is indicated in the above figure. And the figure actually is a kind of informal institution, which is a social tie, and it is actually termed as indigenous social institution, as also considered by Abai and the colleagues. Participation in communal labor sharing is also one aspect of social network, village network. Then it is, for instance, in Ethiopia, it is termed as actually DEVO, which ensures efficient farm operations and knowledge diffusion. So the lower figure of this picture is indicating actually where people actually come together and then have some kind of labor sharing for the agricultural activities. So that is the role of village networks and CSC adoption in general, as well as in Ethiopia in particular. The research question for this study is, how do village level social networks affect CSC adoption? Does network-driven CSC adoption improve household resilience to climate variability? How do external factors like road proximity also shape network formation and its effectiveness? So these are the underlying research questions in this study. The contribution is one, it is a theoretical contribution. Actually, it integrates social network theory with CSA research, highlighting the role of informal institutions in order to supplement previous studies. Another, empirically, it uses panel data and it's not a variable approach to identify causal effects of networks on CSA adoption and resilience. As policy perspective, it provides some insights into leverage community networks, strengthen infrastructure, and scale CSA adoption. So this is also what will be contributing to earlier studies that supplement. Theoretical basis and mechanism for this study actually, as I said earlier, it builds on social capital theory, which is back to 1993 by Putnam, for instance, and diffusion of innovation, for instance, by Roger Sorson, 2003, to explain CSA adoption within village networks. In this case, three mechanisms are considered. One, information diffusion is one importance of village level network. That is access to CSA knowledge through networks accelerate adoption. Second, collective action and risk sharing is also one importance. Resource pooling enables joint CSA investment and resilience to climate shocks. Then third, norm formation and social influence is also one role, which says actually peer interactions shape community norms that incentivize or hinder actual CSA uptake according to Binder and Razul, for instance. So interconnected pathways highlight actually the importance of social capital for scaling CSA adoption and then enhancing resilience in rural areas. The hypothesis, which is related actually to the research questions as well, and therefore the first one is stronger village networks increase likelihood of CSA adoption. That is one hypothesis to be tested. Second, higher CSA adoption enhances household resilience, measured in terms of farm income stability under climate shocks. The third hypothesis, effects of networks and CSA adoption or resilience persist after controlling for different control variables like individual, household, and also contextual factors. The causal pathway, actually the proposed causal pathway is, which is also directly related to the hypothesis to be tested. So it starts with exogenous infrastructure like proximity to the major road, which affects the village networks. This one also by itself affects CSA adoption. Then both village networks as well as CSA adoption actually affect household resilience to climate shocks. That is a pathway, how it affects resilience. Related to data and sample description, this actual study uses three wave national household panel from rural Ethiopia in 2011, 12, 13, 14, as well as 15, 16, which is actually collected by Central Statistics Authority of Ethiopia and World Bank jointly. This is publicly available on the website of World Bank. It covers diverse agroecological zones, capturing variation in climate risk and farming systems. It includes also data on demographics, access, social networks, and extension access, CSA practices, and community characteristics as well. This study actually specifically considers 10,061 observations from 12 regions of Ethiopia, excluding small towns. It focuses on rural areas. It has actually low attrition, 4.1%, from 2011-12 to 13-14, and 1.5% only from 13-14 to 15-16. So it focuses on basically cereal crops, cereal crop producers, 6 cereal crops in the major cereal crops actually. So that is why the observation is actually limited to 10,061, and therefore the study actually limits to the major cereal crops. These are actually 6. The key outcome variables of this study actually are CSA adoption in the first case, use of practices like terracing, as well as crop rotation, compost also, and irrigation practice. Then which the index actually combines key adaptation and productivity enhancing practices that actually terracing or counterploying, water catchments. This is a kind of soil and water management. Crop rotation is also another important aspect of CSA, component of CSA. And also, or drought tolerant crops are also one aspect. Another productivity enhancing components are actually organic fertilizer or compost, for instance, and also irrigation. So this is one of the outcome variables, which is to be considered as first stage. Second, household resilience, which is stability of farm income against climate and economic shocks. It is a normalized farm income variation, where the value is when the value is actually higher, that indicates actually more stable farm income. That is a normalized index generated from income generated from the 6 cereal crops that specified earlier. The explanatory variables actually include, the first one is village networks. This one is measured number of distinct households engaged in reciprocal labor exchange, which is a proxy for social capital and informal insurance. They include mutual exchanges for labor, inputs, or information during the past 12 months of the time. Then this is the one key explanatory variable. Second, road distance, distance to the major road, which is considered as IB. Distance to the nearest major road, reflecting access to infrastructure, inputs, as well as information. This is used to address basically endogeneity in the network formation. That is IB variable. Other controls are household demographics, including age, gender, size, tenure security, credit access, market distance, extension participation, and exposure to shocks as well, other shocks. These are the key explanatory variables included in the analysis. When it comes to the descriptive statistics, this is actually a summary of descriptive statistics for the variables of interest, both the dependent as well as the outcome, as well as the independent variables, which are with their units of measurement. So, for instance, the CSC adoption is a count in this summary statistics, but in the analysis, it is a dummy variable. Actually, CSC adoption considers 0 to 4. For at least up to 4 actually number of CSA practices, including the actually the value, the index actually. Farm income stability, 0.1. Village network, number of households, distance to the main road in kilometers, age of household age, also years, Meldami, household size, as well as tenure security, credit access, distance to the market, extension program, and also shocks. These shocks are also count from 0 to 3. The main 3 shocks that the farmers actually face. So this is a summary statistics for the variables. But most of the variables actually, which are count, are actually considered. I stopped actually here. Just treatment is household is adopting greater or cost 1 CSA practice. The controls are actually with no CSA adoption. Maybe the time actually post adoption, maybe treatment, pre-adoption, baseline. The method is DID estimates the impact of CSA adoption on household resilience. It controls for time invariant heterogeneity and the common shocks as well. Village networks aid adoption via labor, inputs, and information. So assumes part trade this assumption, and also indicated in different scholars. The
Gemeda, I hope we are not losing you again.
I think his connection is very poor.
I can imagine. But Ethiopia, you seem to have a very good network. Why today is not working for us?
sorry, do you see now on my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yeah, sorry very much. So this is a part rate assumption actually for DID estimation of the CSA impact. When you say post, the time from greater than 2 years, the survey year actually greater than 2 years. But if for the year 1 and the year 2, it is assumed to be 0. But for year 3, 2 and above, greater than year 2, actually it is assumed to be 1. So this is a trend, parallel trend graph for the adoption, CSA adoption and adoption. So before year 2, the trend is similar, and after year 2, actually, CSA adoption increases and then adoption actually continuously declining. So this one actually considers the parallel trend is old according to different studies. Then there are 3 stage analysis in this case. The first one is predict village network from exogenous infrastructure. Second, estimate CSA adoption using predicted networks. And the third one is assess resilience outcome, farm income stability in this case. Then in order to quantify how network-driven CSA adoption enhances adaptive capacity and the climate resilience. That is an empirical strategy and the states. The 3 stages are actually, as I said earlier, the first stage is predict village networks and instrumenting household distance to the major road, which captures exogenous social connectivity and facilitates CSA adoption. This is a equation for that. Village networks have the function of road distance to the major road, other controls, time fix, as well as cluster fixed effect, then error term. CSA adoption also has, that will be as estimated from using predicted village network, other controls, as well as time fixed effect and some clusters and also the error term itself. Then finally, the third stage is resilience outcome. In this case, DID framework is considered. The resilience, which is CSA adoption by post-intervention, or maybe post actually in the last year, from the 3 years, actually the third year. Just the measures for farm income stability and adaptive capacity. This is a expression for that. Resilience are the function of CSA by post, village network also by village network by post, as well as other controls and household fixed effect. In this case, CSA series of resilience actually is considered in this case. It uses CSA series of resilience framework, infrastructure affected village networks, which also affected CSA adoption, and both actually affecting climate resilience. It highlights social and ecological pathways. The diagram actually depicts exogenous infrastructure affected village network and CSA adoption, and also both affecting the resilience of the farm households in the rural areas. The first stage estimation is actually this one, village networks and proximity to the major road. So distance to the major road actually negatively correlates with the village networks. Controlling irrespective of the specification. The first one is the baseline. Second one is including some controls. The third one is including also including the number of controls as well. The last one is the full specification of controls, including the shocks. So, irrespective of those specification, distance to the major road is negatively correlated with the village network, and therefore that is considered as IV in that case. So, this is the first. In order to consider actually whether village network is affected by proximity to the major road or not. The second stage actually, the second is actually CSA adoption, estimating CSA adoption using predicted village network from the previous estimation. So in that case, again, predicted village network is actually positively correlated with the CSA adoption throughout the specifications, considering different specifications in this case. Irrespective of the specifications considered, specification of the controls considered, the village network is positively correlated with the CSA adoption in this case. The estimation actually considers year fixed effect and Kabale clusters actually, or Kabale fixed effect as well. So the other controls are indicated here in the table, in this table. So this is an IB regression that is considered for CSA adoption. The last one, actually the last estimation is resilience. Whether household resilience is affected by CSA practices and the village networks or not. So this one considers actually farm income stability, which is an index, which is actually normalized index constructed from the 6 major cereal crops considered. So the main interest here is actually CSA uptake by the post actually, which is shaded and actually in green, and therefore that one is positive. That means CSA adoption actually improves farm income stability, or simply it improves, enhances actually resilience of the households in the rural areas. But the village network is in the post actually will not actually perform better, and therefore, which is the last village estimated predicted village network is by post, which is negative as well as, but the last specification, and that specification it is positive but very small magnitude. So this estimation actually uses a DID setup, linear regression with high dimensional fixed effects, with standard error structure clustered at Kabale level. The controls are also similar as before: age, gender, household size, tenure security, credit access, as well as distance to market, extension program, and other shocks. So this actually implies CSA uptake improves farm households' resilience to climate shock. So as robustness checks, results are actually robust across different definition of village networks as well. So dummy variable connected versus unconnected is considered. Continuous measure of network intensity is also considered. CSA adoption results are also robust using adoption index, count of CSA practices. And finally, household resilience effects remain also robust, where CSA adoption improves income stability, and network effects remain steady over time as well. So at the conclusion, a strong village networks boost CSA adoption, stabilizing farm incomes and enhancing climate resilience. Infrastructure, example like roads, for instance, this fosters social connectivity, enabling information exchange, collective action, and risk sharing. CSA impact is maximized when combined with robust social networks. As a policy implication, it recommends actually investing in social and physical infrastructure to strengthen CSA uptake and resilience. So informal social institutions are crucial for climate adaptation. Future research should explore scalability and long-term impacts. So this is all about. Thank you very much for your attention.
All right, thank you, Gemeda. That's part of the hiccup we managed to get through successfully. A big hand to you. You know, it's virtual, so we cannot clap for you, but you can see the claps, virtually. Right. So we welcome questions for Gemeda, comments for Gemeda, contributions for Gemeda. Please just indicate your hand and
I'm sharing, and so that people can see instead.
Yes. So yeah, Gemeda, if you can stop sharing. Any questions for Gemeda? Comments?
Yes.
Anthony.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that's an interesting study. And hello to you, Gemeda. So I looked at your descriptive statistics, and I realized that at a point it went up in terms of CSA. It went up and declined. And I was wondering what really is accounting for that. Then again, in terms of the definition of your treatment, the CSA itself ranges from 0 to 4, but in terms of your definition for the treatment, you said it is greater or equal to 1. So I wanted also to find out what informed that threshold, what informed the definition for the treatment. Is there any scientific basis for defining the treatment as anything greater or equal to 1? So these are 2 questions for you. Thank you.
Right. So let's take another one. Just join sort of 2 comments, then you can respond to the 2 comments. Mark.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for the presentation. Very interesting. So I put these questions in the chat also, but I had a number of questions. First, I wasn't sure how you defined the income stability index. I don't think you talked about that, but I'm kind of curious about what that is. 2, I think your diff and diff has a staggered treatment situation because you have multiple waves here. Although I couldn't tell exactly because you have that sort of pre-trends check too. Are you using the new diff and diff methods that account for staggered treatment? There's a big literature on that now. And then finally, your IV is road access, but it seems to me that this would affect CSA adoption directly, not just through networks, and also that it would affect resilience. So I'm just wondering how you're thinking about that and the exclusion restriction here.
Right. So Gemeda, respond to the 2 comments from the 2 individuals, and then we get back to the audience for others.
Okay. Thank you very much. Actually, in the descriptive statistics, the CSA is count, CSA, the number of CSA practices adopted by the farmers. That is simply for descriptive statistics. And then 1 up to 4, actually, maybe it's 0 to 4, actually, in that case. But in the analysis, what is considered is if a farmer is adopting at least 1, that is considered to be 1. But if no adoption, actually, it is considered to be 0. So that is a dummy definition for that. In order to actually for interpretation as well as to make it easy, because count data may actually exactly indicate what we want. So that is for analysis purpose related to the CSA count as well as that of the dummy. In the analysis, it is converted to dummy variable as 0, 1 it means. Related to the income stability, this is an income actually derived from the 6 major cereal crops stated in this the major cereal crop stated actually. So that is a gross income. That is actually gross without including the cost in that case. So that is to me that a revenue actually derived from the cereal crops that is considered to be farm income. But that one is converted to normalized index. Therefore, it is a normalized index considered in that case. So it ranges from 0 to 1. So as it is approached to 1, that one indicates actually stable. If it is approached to 0, that one is indicating actually unstable in that case. So related to the DID as well, that is a ordinary DID that is considered, not the staggered one. Actually, the time is short, and therefore I didn't actually consider the staggered DID in this analysis. So if I got your questions, this is what I have. Thank you.
So you've seen the other comments, questions in the chat. You could take them later on when there's time. But Peter, please go ahead with your comments, suggestion, questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chair, and thank you, Gemeda, for that wonderful presentation. In addition to those issues that have been raised, because I had some similar, but I was wondering what the policy message can we pick to use in that we can use to encourage the adoption of CSA. Thank you.
Can you put up the hand for me?
Yes, any other hand? Else I can read Anders' comment. Or Anders, okay. Right, there's a hand. Gunnar.
Yeah, Mark, this issue of the infrastructure affects the climate smart agriculture directly. I think that's a very important point. What would you do? Do we need another IV, or could we use the network variable directly? How bad is the endogeneity? All these questions come to mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not obvious what you would do, but for one, I would start by looking at, reduced form regressions of what roads are doing, both to resilience as well as to CSA adoption. And trying to sort of see if there is kind of this strong relationship between those directly. But you probably do need another IV. I mean, the exclusion restriction is not something that you can rule out definitively. I mean, an alternative approach would be to not frame this as an IV regression and to sort of think about it more in terms of how each variable is affecting the other. But it's not, I mean, there's no obvious solution to that, I don't think.
Thanks.
Right. Yes, so do you want to respond to Peter's comment? Else we can add Anders' comment. Anders, would you like to say it, or I should read it out?
You can read it out, please.
Yes. Right. So, Gemeda, the comment from Anders is, if time allows, did you have some contact with government organizations, ministries, agencies in your research before, during, or after? If so, what was your experience with them?
Yeah, I didn't have actually any contact with the government or government ministries. Yeah, it may be actually good to have such kind of communication, and therefore, in order to contribute more actually. And so I will do that one. Maybe if I got the chance. So I will try that. I didn't have contact now.
So the IG
And also,
opportunity. So
yeah, the IV and the other questions, actually I got them, and then I will take them as constructive comment and then try to sort out. Thank you.
Mark.
Yeah, maybe just to add, I wrote more in the chat, but basically on this income stability thing, I think I'm also not sure that the way, at least you explained it, the way you're defining this is necessarily indicative of resilience. So, if income is unstable, but it's increasing, right, that is not bad for resilience. So just stability on its own, I think, is maybe not enough. You might want to think about whether it's stable or unstable and increasing, or unstable and decreasing, which is bad, right? And yeah, because resilience will clearly be positively related to income in many ways.
Right, we just have 5 more minutes to go. Any other comments for Gemeda, suggestion, contributions? Else, I would like to ask just one. I was wondering with your network, I know Mark indicated that that's alone. My question is, do you think, or do you have any access to societal trust, any variable that indicate societal trust? And do you think that would have, improve your network, influence rather than just
Hello, sorry, I didn't get you, Professor.
Whether you have any variable that indicating societal trust, general trust within the society. That, of course, we know encourage networking and things like that. But of course, you only control for distance. So I'm just wondering whether you have that information that could enhance, the first equation where you run the network on distance.
We have Jose here who
yeah.
has a question. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gemeda, please respond first.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and the first actual question, what I did is whether variable effect is I mean the distance effect is actually network variable, and then controlling with other factor other control as well. So I didn't actually include any related one, but the main thing is whether the distance to the major road actually whether it is affecting positively or maybe actually in this case negatively affect this. So and then with other variables as well. That is what I did. So if you have a suggestion actually to include, then that is welcome.
Right. Any other? There's
Yes.
somebody who wanted to contribute. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes. So Gemeda, thank you for your presentation. So then I have a question about your network, the way you define it, because I didn't really understand what is your threshold for the stronger network and weak network. Because then at the end you talk about the stronger network, but when I look at that, the way you define the variable is it was defined by number of households or number of farmers engaged on that. Because at the beginning you say that your data comes from national household survey. So it means that respondents were households representative. I mean, all households had some kind of, it was not clear. But then what do you consider, what was the threshold for the network? And how
thank you. Yeah, thank you. Actually, no threshold for that. Simply number of households engaged in the exchange work or maybe reciprocal work for information as well as inputs and other exchange workers. That there is not actually there is no threshold considered in that case, and therefore at the number of network increase, that one is actually showing strong connection or strong network village network in that case. So no actually as you said, there is no threshold defined for that.
It's just about time. We have to bring this to a close. Thank you once again for the presentation, and thank you everyone for participating in this webinar.